Bruchim haboim. Welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together on Daf Kuf Yud Zayin Amud Beis. 3 lines from the bottom. The Mishnah had taught us that if a fire breaks out, Chalila on Shabbos, a person can save 3 su'udos. The Gemara now brings a brayso regarding 3 su'udos. Tanu Rabbanon Kama su'udos chayiv adam le'echol b'Shabbos. Ask the brayso, how many su'udos is a person obligated to eat on Shabbos? Sholosh, according to the Tanakama, 3 su'udos. 1 at night, 1 in the morning, 1 in the Shabbos afternoon. Rabbi Chidka Oimer Arba. He says 4 su'udos, 1 at night and 3 during the day. Rabbi Yochanan V'shneim Mikra Echad Darsh. Rabbi Yochanan says they both darsh in the same pasuk, but differently. Vayomer Moshe Achlu Hayoim. Ki Shabbos Hayoim LaHashem. Hayoim Lom Timsa'eu Basode. Here the pasuk refers to Shabbos 3 times, when it says the word Hayom 3 times. And it says, Rabbi Tchidka Sovar Hani Tlasa Hayom Lebar Me'orta. These 3 times that is mentioned Hayom is referred to only 3 times aside from the night, because it says 3 times Hayom during the day. Whereas the Rabbanan Sari Bahadi de Orta, when it says Hayom 3 times, it includes the night meal. So we have a machlokis tanoim how to explain the pasuk, and one learns 3 meals on Shabbos, and another one says there's an allusion to 4 meals that are required to be eaten on Shabbos. Tnan naflo deleka b'leil Shabbos. The Mishnah says if a fire breaks out at Leil Shabbos, we're on the top of Kuf Yud Ches Amud Aleph, matzilin mozo in shalosh su'udos. Then one is able and required to then. He's able to save Muslim for 3 meals. My lav de loy ocha, is it not referring to that he did not yet eat his Leil Shabbos Su'uda? And therefore it implies that there are 3 meals that a person could go ahead and save on Shabbos. And therefore would be a raya to the Rabbanon. Says the Gemara, lo, the ochal. We're talking about where he did eat the meal on Friday night. And therefore it's saying that even though he already ate the meal on Friday night, he can go ahead and still save 3 meals. Like Reb Chidka Tainas. Shacharis matzilin mozen shtei sudos. The Gemara says that the Brisa tells us, the Mishnah tells us, that a person can go ahead and save 2 sudos in the morning. Ask the Gemara, my lav de loy ocha, is it not that he did not yet eat the Shabbos morning suda, and that's why he can save 2 meals? Which would imply again, like the Rabbanon, that the fact that he had 1 meal the night before, now he can save only 2 meals. Lo, the ocha, we're talking about where he did indeed already eat the meal on the morning, and still he can save 2 meals, which would be a total of 4. 1 at night, 1 in the morning that he already ate, and 2 additional meals. B'mincha matzilin mozon su'uda achas. It says in the Mishnah that in the afternoon, one can save 1 meal. My lav de loy ocha, is it not talking about where he did not yet eat the afternoon meal, and therefore he can save only 1 more meal, which is mashma like the Rabbanan, again 3 meals. Lo, the ocha, he even ate already a suda in the afternoon, and still he can save 1 more meal. That would be like Rabbi Chidkiya was saying. I asked the Gemara from the fact that the Mishnah teaches in the Sefer, Rabbi Yossi Omer lo oilam matzili mazon shalosh su'udos. From the fact that Rabbi Yossi argues on the Tanakama and says you can always save 3 su'udos, whether you ate 1 meal or you ate 2 meals, you can always save 3 meals. And here it's mashma that that's the only machlokis, is whether you can save 3 meals or 2 meals or 1 meal, but more than 3 meals not. So Gemara concludes, Michlal de Tanakama shalosh svirole, that the Tanakama holds that you are mechuyev to eat 3 meals. And therefore, like the Rabbanon, and therefore the Mishnah over here becomes clear that we are not like the opinion of Rabbi Chidka, and therefore there's only a requirement of 3 su'udos on Shabbos, not 4 su'udos. The Gemara now brings the Mishnah from Peah v'hodis nan misha yesh lo mozen shtei su'udos lo yitel min hatamchui. A person who can provide for himself 2 meals a day. At the time of Chazal, they would eat 2 meals, 1 during the day and 1 in the night. And it says if a person can provide himself for 2 meals for the day, then he does not get provided for the communal fund of a daily sustenance, as heavy assistance rather, of tamchui. Mazon arba asrei lo yitel min hakupa. And if a person can provide for himself 14 meals over the course of the week, then he doesn't get the weekly assistance called kupa. So here it implies that there are 2 meals for 7 days of the week, including Shabbos. Mani asked the Gemara, Loi Rabbanan v'loi Rabbi Chidka. It wouldn't go according not to a Rabbanan who requires 3 meals on Shabbos, and not according to Rabbi Chidka who requires 4 meals on Shabbos. I Rabbanan chamsarei havyan. If it was the Rabbanan, they would require 15 meals, because it would be the 2 meals a day, plus the Shabbos, an additional 3 meals would give you a total of 15. I Rabbi Chidka, shith sarei havyan. It should be 16, because it should be the regular 14 plus 4 on Shabbos, 12 plus the 4 on Shabbos would give you 16. Answers Gemara, La'olam Rabbanan. Really, you can learn this Mishnah according to the Rabbanan as well. That night meal that you would eat on Saturday night, Motzei Shabbos, instead of eating it Motzei Shabbos, eat it before the Shkia, whereby there'll be an additional meal on Shabbos day. So therefore, that would include the 15th meal. Leim Rabbanan hi v'lo Rabbi Chidka. So therefore, let's say it's Rabbanan and not Rabbi Chidka. Afilu teim Rabbi Chidka, because the Amrinan lei mai de boys lemeichel b'malei Shabto achle leorta. In addition to what the Rabbanan said that you would eat the Motzei Shabbos meal earlier, so then you have an additional meal which would be 15. The Rabbi Chidka says that instead of eating the Friday morning meal, you would push that off and eat that for Friday night, whereby you'll have an additional meal that you then push off to Shabbos day, and you'll have then 3 meals on Shabbos day. So a total of 16 meals. Ask the Gemara, V'kuli yoyma demali shabta betanisa mosbinalei. The entire day, referring to Friday, we're going to require a poor person to fast and then only eat Friday night. That's not mistaber that we would require a poor person not to be able to eat the entire Friday day. Elohomani, rather, you have to say, Rabbi Akivahi. Rather, says the Gemara, that you can learn that this Mishnah really can be according to Rabbi Akiva. The Omar Asay Shabbat Chachol Va'al Titzarech Lebrios. Rabbi Akiva had the shita that if a person needs assistance, then granted, if he already takes assistance, then he gains then the assistance of 3 meals on Shabbos as well. But if a person can then get by without the public assistance, then that person should only have 2 meals even on Shabbos. And therefore, both Rabban and Rabbi Chidka would say when a person does have the ability, then he should have 3 meals according to Rabbanan or 4 meals according to Rabbi Chidka. But if he's not able to, then and he's not taking assistance from anybody else, from the community, then Rabbi Akiva says he just has the 2 meals on Shabbos. Ask the Gemara. This is also part of that Mishnah we just quoted from Peah v'hodesnan. Ein poichasin la'oni ha'oiver mimakom la'makom. If a poor person is traveling and he comes to town, then the community is obligated to provide for him 2 meals. And that's the amount of a kikar pundian midalid soim besela, because that's going to provide enough bread to provide 2 meals, one for the day and one for the night. Lon, if he sleeps over into that city that he visits, then noisnin le parnasa lina. Then they will provide for him parnasa lina. The Gemara will explain what that is. Vim Shabbos, and if he comes and stays over Shabbos in this new town, then noisni loy mazon gimel suudos. Then they provide him gimel suudos, which sounds like the Rabbanon. Leim Rabbanon hi v'lo Rabbi Chidka. So let's say that this Mishnah clearly indicates like the opinion of the Rabbanon and not like Rabbi Chidka who requires 4 suudos. No, la'olam Rabbi Chidka. You can really learn this Mishnah even according to Rabbi Chidka. Kigon di'ika suuda bahadei. We're talking about where he has already a Suda on his own that he has brought with him. We say to him, the one that is with you, you shall eat. And therefore, he'll have an additional meal on Shabbos, he'll have 4 meals. Asking him, if we're requiring him to eat the meal that he had brought with him on Shabbos, then we're going to then send him away, reikon, without any meal. The Gemara says, no, the melavinon le suuda bahadei. No, we will provide for him another suuda to escort him out. Ask the Gemara now on this Mishnah, my Parnasas Lina, what did it mean when it said Parnasas Lina? After all, we're already providing him for 2 meals. And we said if he stays over the night, so what is this Parnasas Lina? What is the additional thing that we're going to provide him? It's a bed and a pillow. The Gemara now brings the following brayso in regards to Sudo Shabbos, Ton Rabbanon, Ka'aroi she'ochel bohen arvis, meidichin lechol bohen shachris. Those plates that were used at night on Leil Shabbos, they can be cleaned and washed for the next day, to be used to be eaten on the next day. Shacharis, meidichin lechol bohen b'tzoraim. If they were used on Shabbos morning, they can be washed and cleaned to be used for Shabbos afternoon. Kitzoharai, b'tzoraim, meidichin lechol bohen mincha. If they were used in the afternoon, then they could go ahead and be cleaned to be used for later on in the afternoon. However, if it's already after mincha time in the afternoon of Shabbos, then they can no longer be washed and cleaned, because that would be then a hachana for the chol, and that would be a bizoyon to Shabbos. But rather, various kelim that are used to drink with, but those kalim that are used to drink, different types of cups, those are things that could be washed all the time, even after mincha on Shabbos, because there's no kavius to drinking. People drink all of the time, even up to the end of the day. Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Mishum bar Kapora, Kol hamakayim shalosh suudos b'Shabbos, Nitzol misholos puronios. All that fulfill 3 suudos on Shabbos, they will then be saved from 3 different types of punishments. Mechevloi Mashiach, the birth pains of Mashiach, the painful days that precede the time that Mashiach will come. Umedina shel Gehinnom, and the judgment of Gehinnom. Umimelchemes Goig umagog, and the war that will be wrought from Gog and Magog onto Klal Yisrael, right before the Geula. The Mishnah, the Gemara says, Mechevlo shel Mashiach brings psukim. Ksiv hocha yoim v'ksiv hasom hine anochi sholech lochem es Eliyahu hanavi lifnei bo yoim. So it says Hayom that we quoted earlier, which says 3 times Hayoim in regards to the Suda Shabbos that we quoted. Here it says Yoim, and it also says in regards to Chevli Mashiach that Eliyahu will come lifnei boy Yoim. Medina shel Gehinnom, ksiv hocha Yoim, v'ksiv hasam Yoim, evra Hayom hahu. Again, it says Yoim in regards to the Sudas that we learned out, and it also says Yom in regards to the Medina shel Gehinnom. That's Evra is a reference also to the pain of Gehinnom, the punishment of Gehinnom. Mimolchemes goigu mogoy ksiv hocha yom. Again, a 3rd time it says yom in the pasuk in regards to Suda Shabbos. V'ksiv hasam beyoim ba goig. So one who's mekayim the 3 suudos, and he's shomer the Shabbos and ma'aneg es haShabbos, so he'll be zoiche to then combat the 3 painful days with days of menucha and simcha.